Hey guys and goddesses. So I did a reading and I want to redo this reading over why did Minneapolis police kill George Floyd, but this one is geared towards Thomas Lane and J Alexander Kueng, I believe is how it's pronounced. Someone commented on my last video and said it's not Kueng, but it's King, pronounced King. And the reason why these two are separate is because Blue Lives Matter. I feel that police culture and Blue Lives Matter is what ruined their lives, is what influenced their behavior to participate in the killing of George Floyd. Am I making excuses for them? No, but I'm a person who can think objectively and not emotionally. I can look at the situation, and I've done readings on them both, and it just appears that these two are separate from the other two. Now, I did a reading that said that it's going to eventually be 2 against 2, and I believe these two could be against Chauvin and Thao, because Thao and Derek Chauvin is what escalated the situation. Derek Chauvin committed the murder. Thao prevented any bystanders from helping by, standing guard. And the other two was also, Alexander Kueng and Thomas Lane were also there, but my readings on them were different. Now, I read Thomas Lane's, the reason why I'm doing this video is because, and I'm going to start with Thomas Lane. I read his energy wrong. When in his reading, I got the Page of Swords and the 5 of Wands. I didn't read the energy wrong, but I put it on him instead of the person that it should have been on, which was Derek Chauvin. So we have the 5 of Swords and the Page of Swords. And the 5 of Wands. So my question was, why did Thomas Lane assist in the killing of George Floyd? So when this came out, this looks like a person who was angry, who's just angry. Doesn't have anything to do with George Floyd, doesn't have to do with the public, but who brings their anger and their biases with them. So I said, maybe this is, I was thinking that Spirit was talking about Thomas Lane, but this is Derek Chauvin. In retrospect, after looking at my video, taking a look at the reading and the reports that come out, this is Derek Chauvin. And the reason why Thomas Lane continued and helped and assisted of George Floyd is because of the communication. In my last reading, the communication card came out. So I'm like, there was some communication with his team. So now, after the report came out, what clarified my reading or confirmed my reading is the communication was Thomas Lane to Derek Chauvin. So he was asking questions because something in his spirit was telling him, no, this is going left, this is going wrong. And he knew that George Floyd, intuitively, he probably knew that George Floyd was about to die, so he started asking questions. Now, the way that those questions were answered is the reason why he continued to participate in the murder of George Floyd. Also, the Lovers came out in his reading. The Lovers came out in all of their readings. The Lovers is the union. The Lovers is unity. The reason police culture and Blue Lives Matter, that whole culture influences them to act in one accord. So we can blame, you know what, it's not just on the hands of Derek Chauvin. George Floyd's death and the death of many black and minorities and anyone who is killed by the police, any innocent person that is killed by the police, and why innocent, someone who is not trying to kill them, is on the hands of Blue Lives Matter and on the hands of police culture and on the hands of the union, because they encourage them to act in one accord. If you saw that video of the police officers in Atlanta who snatched those college kids out of the car, these officers had on gears, about 10 of them. They all came together and snatched some college kids out the car. That type of behavior is not stopped because of the union, because of police culture, because of these Blue Lives Matter. There is no such thing as a blue life. We all have the same blood. We're all human. Now, some of us have different heritages, but with that being said, it's no reason why, it is a reason, it's because of the union, it's because of Blue Lives Matter, but it's no reason why you can't see that someone is doing something wrong and call it out. So the reason why Thomas Lane continued is because he communicated. Now, he did at least communicate. He did at least communicate and say on several different times, I believe the report said 3 times, and the communication card came out in the reading, he saw that he was angry. He saw that Derek Chauvin was angry. He saw that, he saw it all happening. He saw that it was being taken out on George Floyd, and he said something, but he did not stop. All it would have took was one person. If one of those officers would have said, hold up, get up, or if one of those officers would have simply got up and said, I'm not going to participate in this, maybe another one would have. Maybe the next one would have stopped. Maybe then it would have encouraged the next one to stop, and then Derek Chauvin would have been the one on his neck by himself, because I don't think anything was stopping him from killing him unless they would have physically apprehended the police, their own officer. And what prevents them from doing something like that? Blue Lives Matter, the union. The police culture that when someone does something wrong, they all do it wrong, or they don't say anything about it, or they don't do anything about it until they're behind closed doors. And who knows what even happens behind closed doors. Because he had 18, Derek Chauvin and Thao had together about 20-something complaints combined, and they were still on the force. Okay, so anyway, so I pulled those cards, and that's what came out for him. I asked what would be the repercussions for Thomas Lane's action. It does look like he will lose something. The sun came out in reverse for this angry card. And the reason I'm glad I'm doing this reading over, I'm not finna leak. It was getting too much traction for that particular part of the reading to have been misread. I don't want to equate his energy with Derek's energy. I just want integrity in my readings, and that's why I'm doing this over. Anyway, what's going to happen to Thomas Lane? His life. Blue Lives Matter ruined his life. Now, I am not excusing him for his actions, but this police culture, this Blue Lives Matter, they think it's all funny when they all come together and say, Blue Lives Matter, all lives. No. Ruined this police officer's life. He's one, if we want to call good cops. J Alexander Kueng and Thomas Lane potentially could have been the ones who were not killers or a quote-unquote good cop. But they were ruined. His life will be ruined. His life is in an uproar because of Blue Lives Matter and this whole unity thing where they can't speak out against other officers committing crimes. What else is going to happen to him? We have the Four Swords came out in his reading. This is someone in jail. And the Hermit came out. Loneliness and isolation. Being in a cell. Being lonely, being isolated. They may even have to be isolated from the other population, the prison population, because they are police officers or were police officers. So loneliness, isolation, the uproar of his life. The Temperance card came out, so he could spend some time in there. It may not be something that's very quick. He may spend some time in there. Then we have the High Priestess, the Five of Pentacles, and the Devil that came out. This is the law. He's going to lose the law. So he went to school, or he prepared his life to be a police officer, and that's going to be he's going to lose that. And the reason why I say it's the law, you can see the Torah is in his hand. And the Torah represents the law for the Jewish people. The law. He's going to lose the law. He's going to lose the life that he built because of this Blue Lives Matter culture. Am I excusing his action? Again, I'm not excusing his actions, but Blue Lives, the reason why this happened is because of this unity, this code of unity, and Blue Lives Matter. And now they're going to pay for it. Then we have the Five of Pentacles and the Devil. The Devil is someone who's incarcerated, and the Five of Pentacles is somebody who loses. So the Five of Pentacles could represent the number 5. The Five of Pentacles could just represent him losing time, him losing a part of his life, him losing, he's going to pay everything he's built, he's lost. He's going to lose, he's lost. He's going to pay for his inaction. And, his actions is one thing, but he's paying for his inaction. And his inaction was encouraged by the police force, by Blue Lives Matter, by the union, and his code of oneness. When someone does something wrong, none of them says anything. Then I pulled cards for J Alexander Kueng. The cards that came out for him were, we have the Emperor of the why did J Alexander Kueng participate in the murder of George Floyd. We have the Emperor, we have the Moon, we have the Fool, and we have Sorrow. What did this tell me? This told me, now this was completely accurate on my last reading, but I want to do these two together. He was following authority. He foolishly followed authority. He didn't know what to do. Now, in retrospect, after reading, I already knew that an article said that the other three were on the force all less than 3 years. Well, some of them, they say one of them had just got out of probation. So this is a new officer. This is someone who wasn't on the job that long. So he was following orders. He was following authority, and authority was Chauvin. So he followed the lead. He foolishly followed the lead, and he feels really bad for it. Sorrow card. When I did his reading originally, I could feel the emotion. I could feel tears. I could feel heaviness. I could feel empathy. I could feel sadness. It feels like he was sad about what he did, or what he did in his inaction, and what's happening to his life as well. But he foolishly followed authority, and that's where it led into. But this is the thing with police culture. This is the thing with Blue Lives Matter, and this thing of not speaking up. It creates scenarios where a rookie follows the leader foolishly, not knowing what to do. It creates the scenario that, okay, the culture is we all do this together and we talk about it behind doors, or we all do this together and it goes away. That culture was created way before he was on the force, but he foolishly followed the lead because that's the example that they set for him. Am I making an excuse? No. Again, if one of them would have just got up and said, this is wrong, something would have happened. But, you know, that's in life in general. People don't always speak up. Then I said, okay, well, what is going to be the repercussion for J. Alexander Kueng's action? The Power card came out and the Lovers came out. Again, this Lovers came out on all of their readings. But in his reading, this is representing the union. This is representing someone in power. They're going to help him. He's going to receive some help, and the Works came out with it. So the people that he worked with, the union, someone in power, they are going to work with him. They're going to help him because they know, they probably are very well aware that he was new and he didn't know what he was doing, and he foolishly followed the actions of Chauvin and the rest of the team. So it does look like he's going to get some help. We have the Death card that came out with it too, which is the underall influence of it. I'm not sure if the Death card could be the death of George Floyd. The Death card could come out of this reading because something is ending. Potentially something is ending with him or all of them. But the Death card did come out of his reading, so I have to acknowledge that. But I'll let time reveal why this Death card came out. We have the Queen of Swords. We have the Seven of Cups. We have Disappointment, we have the Hierophant, and we have the Four of Wands that also came out. And we have the Prince of Wands, the Knight of Wands, and the Queen of Wands. Lots of fighting energy, lots of passion here, lots of quickness. Something may happen quick with him, where they may fight and move very quickly for him. Then we have the Queen of Swords, the Seven of Cups. He's going to be presented with some options. Now, notice the 5 came out in his reading, the 5 came out in Thomas Lane reading. So the number 5 could be significant in their punishments. So, but the Queen of Swords and the Seven of Cups, there may be some options presented to him. So there may be some things that he could choose from as it pertains to what his punishment will be. Then we have the Hierophant and the Four of Wands. So the Hierophant is the judge, going before the judge, and the Four of Wands is success. So while Thomas Lane may lose his case, J. Alexander Kueng may not. It's so weird. It looks like Alexander Kueng will have more support than Thomas Lane. Well, I don't know if Thomas Lane is the one who appears to be black. And I don't know who, I think so. But it does look like Thomas Lane will not get as much support from his job that J. Alexander Kueng will. Probably because he's new. But he's going to get some sort of support and may help him in some way. But there is going to be a loss here. There is a level of disappointment. There is something that's going, someone is going to be disappointed. It'll be the public or it'll be him. But there is some disappointment. He will have some losses. He will lose something. In the traditional tarot, the Five of Cups is 3 cups down and 2 up. So he may get some things and lose some things. He may lose 3 and get 2. So it may be something. But he is going to pay. But overall, he wins. Overall, there'll be some sort of achievement on his end. I didn't get that for Thomas Lane. Thomas Lane, it just looks like he loses. So anyway, we'll let time tell. But the moral of the story is Blue Lives Matter has an influence on all of this. This whole police culture of unity. Let's all do, when someone does something wrong, they don't stop them. That is the problem with the police. That is a reason why they say it's no good cops, because they don't speak up. But if they do speak up, then they get fired. There was one story I just read about a police officer being fired for speaking up. The culture is toxic. Police culture is toxic. Blue Lives Matter is toxic. And it cost these quote-unquote good police officers, could have been good police officers, their lives. And it cost George Floyd his entire life, and countless others. So there needs to be an end to police culture. There needs to be a change to police culture, and they need to have a way for other people to speak up so that their lives are not being ruined, so that people are not being unjustly killed, and with these thugs in uniform, these killer cops in uniform, these hate groups, these people who are a part of hate groups, and they bring that to the police force, making them all look bad. So I'm going to leave it here. I just wanted to do that reading over because I don't want to use my platform to spread misinformation, and I felt like that last video I did about Thomas Lane was Derek Chauvin's energy and not his, so I don't want to misrepresent him in my readings, even though this is my readings and these are my thoughts. I wish you all the best. Thank you for watching. Peace.